We would like to thank Podcorn for sponsoring this episode of TechTime Radio. Explore sponsorship opportunities and start monetizing your podcast by signing up at podcorn.com/podcasters. Let me tell you about Podcorn. Podcorn is an absolute must for any podcaster starting out. Now, when we started out TechTime Radio, we started out in a back office with a couple of mics. We expanded to a studio, and then now, as you can see, we're on the radio and have distribution into other markets. Having the ability to have Podcorn at the start of our podcast would have been a dream come true. Guess what? With Podcorn, you now have the amazing opportunity for podcasts to receive sponsorship, such as host reads, interview segments, and topical discussions. With Podcorn, there's no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on their platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without exclusivities. You never give up the rights of your podcast in Podcorn, and they're here to support you everywhere possible. Visit podcorn.com. Again, that's podcorn.com. Podcorn is a true success for those starting their podcast dreams.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week. The show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us on techtimeradio.com or even tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond to your questions or comments on the air. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years expertise in technology. My co-host, Mike Raday, is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. Mike is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike keeps me from geeking out while providing insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a great holiday weekend. Oh, boy, today is a special day. We got National Pecan Day. Pecan Day.
Oh, okay.
And it's Amazon Prime Day.
You were asking that question last night.
I was.
Is
you know
it
what?
pecan or pecan?
It is a tomato, right? Okay,
right.
so we got Prime Day going on, so we're going to be talking about
your
that.
favorite holiday.
Oh, on the Nathan Nugget, you're going to want to stay tuned to hear about Nathan's insights into Prime Day. What day? Welcome to Prime Day, but you know what? We're having so
today
much
and
fun.
Tomorrow.
We're going to have it for 2 days and not call it Prime Days, but just Prime Day.
Yes.
That's some great marketing there. All right, we're going to actually talk about how it started.
I don't think they care.
Well, I will, because that will be the basis for what I talk about after that. So,
okay. Ramp up.
Okay. Whew. 1,000, 2 1,000. All right.
All right. What are we talking about today?
Oh, let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right. Microtransactions for your car.
This is one I would rant on.
Oh, my word. We're going to talk about this. What in the heck is going on here? We're going to be talking about that in our stories. The James Webb Telescope shows some amazing pictures released from NASA. And how does Nathan feel about Amazon Prime Day?
I think we might already have a hint.
Well, there you go. Next, we have an interview with the CTO of Vidovation. Jim Giacata is going to be explaining his technology around bonded cellular and a look back at Skylab's re-entry. In addition, we have our standards features, which is This Week in Technology, Mike's mesmerizing moment, and of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting. Giacata. Sorry. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to start our show with our loaded Question of the week brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike and Odie, here's your loaded question. If you could have dinner with anyone past or present, who would it be and why?
I'm going to have to go with, oh man, it just blew out of my head.
Just blew out of your head?
Yeah, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye. Okay, he's still alive.
Yeah, I like that guy.
You took mine.
Sorry.
Oh, Odie. Well, he's a local guy here in the Pacific Northwest.
I can also go out with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I really enjoy that guy too.
Okay, all right. Odie, it's to you now.
I'd love to talk with Walt Disney.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you took my
Frozen
guy.
Walt
Way to
Disney?
go.
Frozen
Way to
Walt
go.
Disney?
So Mike takes yours. You take mine because that's who I was going to say because, I'm a big Walt Disney fan. All right. Why would you want us to talk with Walt Disney?
Well, I'd love to, because, I'd love to see, show him the parks and everything.
Show him the parks now?
Yeah, and talk about it.
He'd probably be not very happy.
Well, probably not. And then, the whole Star Wars buy, and then, Pixar, all that jazz.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you want to see. You know what? Some people believe Walt Disney's still alive. His head was frozen in some carbon something.
Yes, I know
something.
that's still going around.
That's still going around on the internet.
Yep.
So,
cryogenics, baby.
So my person now, wow, that was actually Walt Disney is who I was going to say. You know what? I'd like to
just
George Washington. George Washington.
What?
Yeah, one of our presidents, one of our first founding presidents.
Basic.
I wonder what it would be like back in the time when they were the presidents of the United States. They have to deal with the same scrutiny. Of course they didn't. If you're reading notes on a note card, or if you say something wrong and you have a gazillion people blow up something and share it, they didn't have to deal with that. So
they used other forms of media back then.
They did. They did. So that would be mine. Okay. Well,
same stuff though.
Historical people are kind of interesting to ask them what would happen. Yours is still alive though. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye is still alive.
All right, Mike, as always, we have our whiskey tastings during the commercials to see if we like our selected pick of the day. If it gets
be better this week.
It better be better than last week, right? So to either get 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show, we want to make sure you listen all the way through to pick up a few interesting facts on Marc's Mumbles that will make you go, with the whiskey facts of the week. What's that?
Just thinking about last week, I want to cough.
You want to cough? Don't cough. Don't cough. All right, now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Story number 1. Twitter shares fall as Elon Musk backs out of deal. All right. So here's what we got.
You knew that was going to happen.
That is right.
We talked about this already.
Shares in Twitter continue to fall after Elon Musk announced he is pulling out of the $44 billion deal to buy the social media platform. Mr. Musk backed out after claiming Twitter failed to provide enough information on the number of spam and fake accounts on the site.
Yep.
Yeah, really? Twitter plans to take legal action to make the deal go ahead, as he's hired top U.S. law firms to defend himself, and Twitter has done the same also.
I think that's a little funny. Hey, I'm going to buy this from you. Never mind. I'm not going to buy this for you. Oh, well, you're going to sue me to get me to buy that for you.
And then you're going to buy it? Well, okay. So this is interesting. Musk tweeted using Twitter that said that they needed to disclose bot info in court. So he wants the bot info to come out in court. Is this going to be like a Johnny Depp court type of deal where they go back and forth for 6 weeks?
I doubt this is going to be about this.
Yeah. Okay. The multi-billionaire then tweeted a picture showing an American actor and martial artist Chuck Norris at a chessboard with the follow-up post saying, "Chuckmate." All right. Twitter's share prices, though, stood at about $32.64 as of Monday. Trading closed, falling further below the 54.20 cents a share takeover price agreed by Mr. Musk and the Twitter board in April.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think he's just trying to renegotiate the pricing?
I don't know. He's a very interesting fellow, and I'm sure he has a strategy that he's deploying, whether you believe he's trying to destroy Twitter or take it over or whatever. Yep.
All right. Well, there you go. Mr. Musk is back in the news. I'm sure this is not the last time he will lead off one of our Tech Time.
We will
shows.
Totally be talking about him probably next week.
That's right. All right. Story number 2. I think it's in your wheelhouse here, Mike.
Yes. The James Webb Space Telescope, which launched at Christmas last year, has completed its long journey 1 million miles from Earth, where it will orbit the sun, and it has started sending back pictures.
These pictures are unbelievable.
They are unbelievable. Full-colored images that are more detailed than those of its nearest cousin, the Hubble telescope, which has been orbiting the Earth now for 32 years.
That's how long it's been, 32 years,
the Hubble? 32 years for the Hubble.
Wow.
Yes.
That's how old I am, because I remember that was the big thing when I was growing up. So, okay.
There you go. So these stunning images that were released by NASA and its partner agencies include a cluster of galaxies as it appeared 4.6 billion years ago.
Okay.
A giant gas exoplanet, which is about 1,150 light years away from us. The Southern Ring Nebula at 2,500 light years away. The Carina Nebula at 7,600 light years. And the Stevens Quintet, a cluster of galaxies about 290 million light years away. All these images included spectrographic data and are giving us an even deeper look into the cosmos around us. If you want to look at these, you can, of course, look around on the web, or you can go to www.nasa.org and take a look at them.
I swear I saw Vulcan in one of those pictures.
Yeah.
I did. And there's that little spiral one in the very back. That's got to be Vulcan.
Okay.
It looks just like the.
You're talking about
Gene
Stevens
Roddenberry
Quintet, or are you talking about the picture of the first picture they released?
The first picture they released.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be Vulcan. It looks just like it in the
fantasizing
in the Star Trek shows. So I think that's where it's at.
Okay. But the picture that they released yesterday, you're largely looking at galaxies that are not in our galaxy.
So maybe like Star Wars.
There are galaxies far, far away there.
Okay, there you go.
The Stevens Quintet is in the Pegasus
galaxy
star group.
Okay.
If you're interested in looking at that. And these are ones that are colliding with each other. So it's really cool.
And one of them is like colliding, and there's like a gas pocket that's really musky and dirty. And
that's the Carina Nebula.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. NASA expert there, Mr. Gourdain. Now, story number 3. This remote key fob hack may leave the past decade of Honda vehicles vulnerable, despite the automaker's attempt for security. Heads up, Honda owners. Security researchers found a vulnerability in the new Hondas that can allow someone to unlock and start the car without keys. It's been dubbed the Rolling Pawn, PWN.
The Rolling Pawn?
Really, pwn, however you want to do it. I've been pwned, I've been pawned. Yep.
Pwned.
Okay. This attack, pecan, works by eavesdropping on a pair of key fobs and capturing several codes sent by the fob. The attacker can then later replay the sequence of the valid codes. So kind of like it records it. It records the transmissions going back, and then it can resync it at a later time. This allows the attacker to use older codes that would normally be invalid even months after the codes have been captured. In fact, when security researchers responsible for the latest vulnerability reached out to Honda to disclose the bug, Honda said that instead they told them to call customer service rather than submitting a rebug to report it through the official channel.
That's awesome.
So it got hacked. The hackers talked about it. Then these other security experts went to verify that the hack is correct, and they did. So then those security experts reached out to Honda, and Honda's response is, oops, there's probably nothing we can do about it. So we're just not going to respond to you or thank you. We're just going to send you to customer service.
The customer service of the hackers that hacked them. They got really good.
They do have the hacker service are the best. All right, story number 4: microtransactions in your car. This chaps me, man. This is just
They should put plus on that.
This should be so it should be transaction plus.
It should be
or BMW plus
or whatever.
Okay. BMW starts selling heated seat subscriptions for $18 a month. So essentially, if I buy myself a BMW, we're going to go through a couple of these other things.
You don't get heated seats.
You don't get
pay for it
unless you pay for it
on a monthly basis.
On a monthly basis, so it's built into the car itself.
Right.
So it has the capabilities of this, but I have to pay for the service. So here's what we got. So a monthly subscription has been greenlit to heat your BMW's front seat, which costs roughly $18 a month, with the option to subscribe for a year at $180, 3 years at $300, or you can pay the unlimited access. After you bought your vehicle, you can pay an additional $415 to unlock heated seats for the passenger. This is only the passenger.
This is only for the passenger.
This is only for the passenger at the time. All right, now
You probably already pay for that when you are going through the car buying process.
yes, of course you paid for it. It already had to be built in there, right?
Well, I know, but
you-
you're probably already paying that fee. So
Well, BMW has slowly put features behind subscriptions since 2020. The heated seat subs are now available at the BMW digital stores. But wait, other features that BMW is going to be unlocking upcoming included a heated steering wheel for $12 a month, the option to record footage from your car's camera, which you already paid for, priced at $235 for unlimited use, and the iconic sound sports package. So if I want to have my car engine sound
cool?
vroom, vroom, vroom in the car itself, I can pay the one-time fee of $117.
That's awesome. Right there going, you're going to have to pay a subscription service just to turn it on every month.
But what is that? What have we moved into a society where it's okay if I buy something that already has these features built into it,
Yeah,
that you're going to charge me a subscription
Thank you,
fee?
Netflix.
Wow. So first of all, if you can afford a BMW, I guess you can afford these subscription costs, probably. But still,
I don't know. That to me, that seems like a kind of a.
Just think of Ford coming out next. You got a truck, and you can't
I feel like
the pole solution. You can't use your backlight.
Every time I think of it, my finger wants to come up.
I was just when I read that story, that just made me so excited to talk about Prime Day.
Yeah,
all right, well, Mike, our time is up. We got through the top stories of the week. If you want to learn more about this, please visit us online at techtimeradio.com or click on our episode section or blog to get more details on these stories and features. Now it's time to get ready for our whiskey tasting during the break. But up next, we have our segment per Ask the Expert, talking about a bunch of different items. Clear security expert that we're going to have on that is going to be talking about how he uses dual banded 5G technology to stream different information. So we're excited for that. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come on back, you'll be in line for Jim joining us from Vidovation on our show. We'll see you after the break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you interested in traveling now again?
Of course, isn't everybody?
Yes, I think they are. And I got a deal for you.
Tell me.
Affordable World is excited to introduce a brand new tour.
Oh, is that the new Inspiring Istanbul and Malta tour?
That's correct.
All right. They will have you exploring the timeless mystique of Istanbul, where you'll lose yourself in this multicultural texture and lively atmosphere. Then discover the tiny island paradise of Malta, a hidden gem where you can escape to see spectacular beaches, rolling fields, and endless vineyards.
You can save $100 per person with the code that we're going to give you right here at TechTime Radio called Hidden Gem. Again, just like Malta, if you type in the code Hidden Gem at checkout, you can save $100 per person. Airfare and accommodation are included. Visit affordableworld.com to book today. You visit the two incredible destinations on one single trip. The discount code Hidden Gem can be entered at checkout. It cannot be combined with any other offers, and the promotion runs July 1st through September 30th. Make sure to sign up now. Again, visit affordableworld.com. That's affordableworld.com to start your vacation adventure. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and now let me tell you all about what we're sipping today for our pick of the day. It's the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, 134.4 proof, $69.95 a bottle. It's a whiskey that has a natural tendency to be poured straight from the barrel at full proof. It's a tense, smooth, and remarkable varied barrel proof is bottled at anywhere between 125 to 140 proof, taking Jack's trademark vanilla and toasted oat flavor to a bold new level. It's an intense nose of maple, bananas, and burnt wood, flavor of caramel, tobacco, vanilla, and toasted oak, smooth finish with lots of heat. Mr. Gourdet, now last week we had a little bit of
we don't need to talk about last week.
We had a little episode with our whiskey. You just didn't even make it through the show with that. That was an interesting
I have
taste,
never
right?
experienced a whiskey that clamped my throat shut and made it so I could barely breathe.
It wasn't quite as bad. Now, how was your first taste of this week's?
This one's much better.
Now, you're kind of a Jack Daniel's fan, aren't you?
No, Jack
or Jim Beam. Are you Jim Beam?
Yeah, Jim Beam is kind of my go-to.
Okay. All right. We're going to have this. Now, this is a mash bill, which means it's 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye. It is distilled by Jack Daniel Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee. So there you go. We got a little bit more for that. We got some Marc Mumbles on this. So I'll tell you, Marc was indifferent on this. Didn't quite like it at first, but then he's now kind of starting to fall in love with this whiskey. That's what's the kind of the segment we have coming up here for the Marc Mumble.
Why are you mumbling about Marc's Mumbles before he needs to mumble?
Well, there's a bunch of information in there because he had such a bad whiskey last week that he got tore up on the show,
which was funny because
what's that?
Because he did it on purpose.
He did it to back. He did it to get me back.
To get you back, and then
he ended up having you shut down for the show. That's right. Okay, at the end of the show, we're going to give our thumbs up or thumbs down based on this. Odie has a little bit of this sipping also, so she did not like last week. Last week was pretty much a no-go forever, and we'll see if this one has a little bit more into our thumbs up liking. Well, now that we got our whiskey out of the way, we're going to move to our main story of the day. Our main story is talking about how a company has come up with a way to use streaming technology at the consumer level to provide world-class streaming live video while on a trip, through tunnels, in the mountains, or anywhere that you'd have a seclusion that you wouldn't be able to necessarily get your internet traffic. The company, Vidovation, excels in helping clients like you integrate custom video transmission streaming and contribution to distributed systems in an existing infrastructure with the ability to satisfy almost all appliances, applications, or budget. Mike is joining us. He is the executive, or Mike, this is exciting.
Jim is
as Jim is
Mike.
joining us. He's the executive vice president and CTO. So Jim Chicata, thank you very much for joining the show today.
Hey, how you guys doing?
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
All right, as Jim comes on up. Jim, last time we talked, we kind of geeked out on a few items, but today I want to talk about your technology solutions, streamlining in hard-to-reach places. People are always streaming for work, for pleasure, especially across the globe. Now with our remote work environment that we have, you need to have streaming services everywhere. If you're out in the middle of a mountain hike, you never know when you may have that Zoom call. You got to pull on over.
I need to pull off the trail and do a Zoom call.
That's right. Okay. But what's really interesting is that Jim has some solutions that are out of the box, pro-consumer grade, and even to the high end of major motion industrial. So Jim, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing? Glad to be here.
Good.
Hi, Jim.
Jim. All right. So please explain to me first some of the clients that you interact with your business. So let's kind of give a rundown. Who are your clients?
Yeah, our clients tend to be television stations, sports leagues. We're working with the PGA. So we need to transmit live from golf courses in rural areas. We might do a bicycle race that goes out into the middle of a desert. We're doing quite a few, believe it or not, fishing tournaments. Some of these fishing tournaments end up on ESPN Live. So it's kind of hard to broadcast live from the middle of a lake where there's no satellite is just not an option.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, you can vouch for that?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you the one thing about fishing is that when I go fishing, I catch nothing. So forget internet. I can't even catch the fish in the boat. So.
You're going for the wrong reason.
That's right. Okay. All right. So
it's
Jim,
all about the drinking, right? When you go
that's
fishing.
right. Well, you know what? If you have a nice whiskey out on the boat, then everything goes easier.
You're catching something. It's just not a fish.
That's right. Okay, Jim. So explain what is your core business, okay? Your core business. What do? You're kind of an AV company, but for the standard everyday listener that's listening to our show, what's kind of your core business that you specialize in?
Well, I mean, our technology may touch the consumer, but we're really working more with a corporation or the enterprise, or from a consumer level, maybe an executive wants to do a webinar from home or have a town hall meeting, but wants a broadcast quality camera instead of a web camera. Then our technology would come into place. And fundamentally, what we do is the magic sauce, or the magic bullet is we use cellular technology, and we don't just use one cellular connection. We'll use as many as 8 cellular connections. And those 8 connections, some of them might be on Verizon, some might be on AT&T, some on T-Mobile, or a mixture of all 3. Depending upon where you are. So having those, that's where the term, we use the term bonded cellular. It's actually an IT term, bonding several connections together. And, probably in the past, you would bond several T1 connections together to make a DS3 connection, a bigger pipe. So we bond or take smaller cellular pipes and bond them into one big pipe so we can stream video reliably from these remote locations.
Okay. So explain that. Let's talk about that. So bonded cellular. So are you saying that you take a carrier with like a 5G SIM card and you put it on top of another SIM card? Explain to me what your kind of bonded cellular, or the AVI West IP is what you kind of call it, I think is a
That's
area. Explain that.
one of our partners, Avi
Okay.
West.
Okay, explain that to us.
So I don't, your audience is pretty technical. So we take an encoder and we encode the video, relatively traditional methodology of encoding video. There's a lot of encoders, inexpensive, high-end encoders. But the real magic is taking that stream of packets. We encode it into a bunch of IP packets. Then you send those packets across the internet, or in this case, across the cellular network. The packets get all out of order. Some arrive early, some arrive late. Then we take those packets and we spread them across the 8 connections, the 8 cellular connections. So some packets go on modem number 1, some go on 2, some 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the real magic happens on the receiving side to take those 8 streams, put them back together. And for video, the packets need to be in order. I mean, even this, our web session today, if the packets were out of sequence, you wouldn't be able to see or hear me right now. So that's the real magic, breaking everything apart, sending it over these 8 connections, and then putting it all back together on the receiving side. That's really magic. And, we use forward error correction, automatic re-requests. There's a lot of, everything is dynamic and automatic. The bit rate will go up and down based on the quality of your connection. If we have a 10 megabit connection, we'll use it. If that suddenly drops, we adapt to it. So the technology is very adaptable to internet and cellular and network conditions.
Okay, so if I'm out in the middle of a boat, you talked about the fishing tournament, right?
Right.
And so as I move further and further away from a cellular tower, probably the signal strength is going to be less and less and less. So does that mean the video quality is a little less high definition? Is it kind of put those little filters in where you kind of start seeing the bit maps of everything that's going on? What happens when you're further away with that technology that's there?
Well, in television, I think we all learned this from satellite. When you remember when CNN got a very low bit rate video feed from the rooftop in Baghdad, the first Gulf War, that kind of proved that even a low resolution video is better than no video. Some of our competitors take the approach where they do constant bit rate, they'll run at a high bit rate, but then it drops out, then it freezes. We will scale the image, we will shrink the image and then scale it back up. Yes, you might lose some fidelity, but a little bit loss of fidelity or a little bit of the resolution, as we call, the picture gets a little bit soft. A little bit softness in the picture is better than no picture. And of course, we give priority to the audio. The human eye is more forgiving to a loss in visual fidelity or video fidelity than audio. Any kind of clicks or pops, the human ear doesn't forgive that. So it's a delicate dance, and it's all automatic. But you're right, Nathan, that if the bass fishing boat goes to a corner of the lake where there's not as much cellular connectivity, the unit may actually switch cellular carrier automatically. So, it was in the middle of the lake, maybe the modems were grabbing Verizon, then it moves to a corner of the lake, now it's out of a range of Verizon. Our system will automatically grab T-Mobile or AT&T, and it will do everything it can to grab a signal. Now, there are areas where there is no signal, so we're not magicians. We can't fabricate a cellular signal where there isn't one. But there's techniques for that too, where we'll record the video while we're in that kind of dead spot of the lake, and then play it back when the boat comes back into range. So there are workflow ways around of maybe the video will be a little bit delayed, but we'll still get the video out. We'll call that near live, where the video is delayed a few minutes and then we still get it out. So there's always a way to kind of get
Is
on
that
the
TiVo?
air.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, TiVo.
TiVo. That's like kind of like they buffer that a little bit. Yep.
So it's my understanding that the system is trying to keep the continuity of the video rather than the overall quality of the video. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Continuity, reliability, continuity. That's the most important thing. The technology started in news, and many of our competitors, news is a lot easier. News, it's usually a single camera operator on a courthouse steps. They're not moving around. We invented a new category called live reality TV. We've done live PD, first responders live, police cars, emergency vehicles going at 120 miles an hour and maintaining that cellular connection. But the real special thing that we do is we're able to do multiple cameras. So keeping one camera on the action and synced with the facility is easier. Now I have the PGA will use 15, 20 cameras, all having different angles of the same shot. And if they're out of sync, or what we call gen lock, if they're out of sync with each other, you can't produce a live show. So we're really good at having untethered units mounted on the camera. The cameras are not wired together. There's no cheating. There's no strings, except there's no cables. We're fully untethered, and we're the only vendor that can really do that and really do it well.
All right, so talk about what the gen lock and lip sync is. So that's something that's really important with your 3 cameras. Is that something proprietary that you guys do? Because I have seen other broadcasts where they'll have to resync the video, right? Sometimes
Correct.
we do video here where we have 2 or 3 cameras. When we did TechTime Radio, we first started. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And what happened is one camera, the syncing wouldn't be quite the same with the audio. And so if you went from one camera to another, now my conversation, I'd either have to slow it down or I'd have to go into post-production, Adobe Premiere, and I'd have to do this synchronize deal to kind of make it very difficult to do. Explain what your guys' system and how you do that gen lock part.
Well, you got the gist of it there, Nathan. When you guys are doing a live show, but then you rebroadcast it so you can fix certain anomalies in post-production. The PGA, all the 30 microphones are open simultaneously on a given green or on a given tee box. Dozens of cameras. There's a wide shot. There's a tight shot on Tiger. Tight shot on Phil Mickelson. Well, not Phil anymore.
He's in the live live group now, but that's all right. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
You get what I mean.
Yeah.
If the microphones were out of sync with the video or out of sync with each other, you'd hear like 4, you hear whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And the mics would all bleed into each other. You certainly can't fix it live. Maybe you could try to fix it in post-production, but this is live action. So everything needs to be in sync. Now, the traditional way of keeping cameras on a tripod or a camera on sticks, doing the Super Bowl, the cameras are tethered with a cable back to the truck, sending a reference signal to keep them in sync. Our technology is able to, all of our cellular units have a GPS receiver. So they either have a GPS reference clock or a cellular reference clock. And the cellular reference clock, time of day, down to tenths of seconds, time of day, either from the GPS or the cellular network. And the cellular network is probably getting its time reference from a time server or even GPS as well. Most master controls have a GPS timing reference. So the camera in the studio are within 1/100th of a second. It's close, but we're still dozens of frames off. We got to get down to the frame rate, down to 15 or 30 milliseconds. and timing signals. It all comes down to time stamping every packet. So we know, and the packets are numbered, they're in order. So time stamping, and then we send reference signals from the studio to the field. It's similar to when you're on a wired network. We call it precision timing protocol. Your network switches manage the clock. One switch or one device in the studio will be like the grand master clock. Then there'll be slave clocks, but that's on a managed network. Cellular and the public internet is unmanaged, so we don't have control of the switches on the internet. But we use a similar technique, and my vendor would have to kill me if they told me the exact details. It's patented, but that's the magic, and we can get within a frame of accuracy or better. That if there is any differences, it's not noticeable, and you can't hear it. So that's the amazing thing, keeping everything in sync. And the technical term for the video synchronization, we call that gen lock. And then the technical term for the audio sync, we call that lip sync.
Gotcha. All right, Jim. So you are quite the expert. So you have training and video solutions directly on your website. How do I go out and find out more information, or if I'm interested in having this type of system for a remote event that I'm going to be doing, maybe a remote wedding? I guess you could do this for high net worth individuals. Sure. Maybe they'd want to have this stream to many different people.
A remote site at a kindergarten.
There you go. Maybe not quite
churches. There, churches is a common application.
Churches is common. That makes sense. Religious
events,
places. Yep.
Yeah. Our website is vidovation, vidovation.com. My name is kind of unique, and Mike, thank you for pronouncing it correctly.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jim Giacchetta.
Giacchetta, I got you. Jim Giacchetta. I get you. Okay, there we go. There you go.
Oh, I've been called Geppetto.
Geppetto. Okay. Okay. Well.
So Jim, Jachetta. You can find my name on social media. You can email me, jim@vidovation.com, or you can give us a call at 949-777-5435.
Perfect. All right, Jim, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Hopefully we can maybe look forward to talking to you in the future about one of your events that you have and how you've gotten some new technology working out there. Maybe I could even see you out on that bass fishing trip. That sounds like so much fun, doesn't it?
Yes. We'll get the whiskey guys as a sponsor. Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Thanks, Jim.
Perfect. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you
too.
Very much.
Bye-bye.
All right, that is our segment, Ask the Expert. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now is a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side. I will talk to you after this break. I'm Nathan Mumm with TechTime Radio. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. It's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
July 11th, 1979, Skylab re-entry. The first American space station, Skylab, re-enters the Earth's atmosphere and burns up after plans to keep it in orbit fail to materialize. Fragments of Skylab fall around Perth, Australia, killing one cow.
Oh, man.
Skylab was
the beef?
I know. Was the only space station operated exclusively by the United States. A permanent station was planned to start in 1988, but funding was canceled and replaced with the United States participation in the International Space Station in 1993. 3 cruised missions designed Skylab 2, 3, and 4 all made it to Skylab in the Apollo Command and Service modules. Major operations including an orbital workshop, a solar observatory, Earth observation, and hundreds of experiments. A first-hand experience was documented by John Seller, managing the remote sheep and cattle station east of Perth. They saw the final moments of Skylab with his wife, Elizabeth, and it was quoted, "It was coming straight for us. It was an incredible sight. Hundreds of shining lights dropping all around the homestead. They were white as they headed for us, but the pieces turned to a dull red as they began dropping. The horses on the property ran mad. They galloped all over the place, and the dogs were barking. We couldn't calm them down. Then we could hear the noise in the wind in the air as more significant pieces passed over us all the time. Then finally, with a tremendous sonic boom, it must have lasted about a minute. The whole house shook 3 times just after the last piece dropped out of sight. Afterwards, there was a burning smell like burnt earth." The San Francisco Examiner offered a $10,000 prize for the first piece of Skylab to be delivered to their office. 17-year-old Stanton Thornton watched the scene from the roof of his home in Western Australia and had a bunch of bright colored lights followed by the big sonic booms. His mother had heard them hit the roof of their shed in the backyard, so he climbed up and found the sizzling hot pieces metal that was lying there. Within a day, he was bound for San Francisco, where he collected his prize. That sounds exciting. Doesn't that sound like a sci-fi movie? That's got to be Steven Spielberg in the background, right?
I remember when I was young, us standing out looking for something, and I'm wondering if it wasn't this Skylab.
In the sky, maybe your parents took you out and you were like looking into the
but I don't know. There was a lot of
Halley's Comet. I remember doing that with my parents when the Halley's Comet went by.
Yeah, but that was in 80 something.
Yeah.
But there was so much going on back then that it might have been Skylab falling out of the sky, or it might have been one of the, missions to throw it up there. Who knows?
Okay. All right. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 2 years of videos, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com or watch our older shows or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have a Nathan Nugget of the Week. Just around the corner, we have Marc's Mumbles, and we will see you after this break.
An accident claimed her daughter's lives. Her husband's life hangs in the balance, and Rue feels like she's losing her mind. A brand new psychological thriller from author Eve S. Evans, available for pre-order today. As Rue tries to figure out how to be alone in the family home, strange noises, voices, and shadows reveal themselves to her. Questions bubble to the surface. Are Rue's daughters haunting her? Why can't she remember what happened when they went off the bridge into the icy water below? Beneath the Water by Eve S. Evans. Available on Amazon June 29th.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. I'm your host, technology expert. In addition, I have my human solution consultant extraordinaire, Mike Corday, here on my left, who helps keep us on the level for the common everyday person. We have our national weekly technology show where we make sure you go with technology news. How's your whiskey tasting, Mike? This is the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof 134.4 is the total proof of that. $69.95 bottle. I think we should now move into Marc's Mumbles.
Yes, let's hear what Marc mumbled about.
And now for Marc's Mumbles. All right, Jack Daniels pulls barrels from the upper levels of its rickhouse, usually a tall rectangular structure designed solely for storing aging distilled spirits for their single barrel bottlings, with the barrel-proof versions being released in various ranges from 125 to 140. Many people hold Jack Daniels in high esteem, coming in as the top-selling American whiskey in the world. It seems as if the brand has been mass-produced with mixing other flavors with the whiskey. You can ask people like Mike if they like a good old Jack, and he may say Jack is Jack and tell storage from his college years. That's what he said.
Nice.
Marc has generally ignored it until the buzz surrounding this particular product caught his attention. When Marc initially opened the bottle, he had a neutral feeling about it. It was a very pretty bottle, but the juice was just a little bit better than the number 7 and nothing that wowed him. The bottle went to the back of his shelf for many, many months. Finally, when the other whiskeys started running low, he had another taste, and wow, bottle was drained in a very short time, and he has another one on order to replace it. Marc gives it a thumbs up. That is Marc's Mumbles regarding the whiskey. All right. Now that we got our whiskey out of the way, we'll see if it's a little bit better than our whiskey from last week, which it is, because you're not coughing.
There is absolutely nothing about next week that's going to end up conflicting with this
one at all. Okay, I got you. We're going to move right now into our next segment.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
What are we going to talk about, Nathan?
Okay, this week is crazy made-up holiday shopping week. This is when a company decides to sell items in the middle of summer, and everyone is watching it on the internet, and people are getting on up in the middle of the night so that on Eastern Standard Time, when the clock rolled over for Prime Day, people were there to get the best Prime Day special. Now let's talk about Prime Day. Since the first Prime Day in 2015, the retailer has scaled the summer sales records to breaking heights. And for the first time in 2 years, Prime Day 2022 is back and happening in July, specifically today, July 12th, and Wednesday, July 13th. So how the heck do you call it a Prime Day when it's 2 days? Isn't that Prime Days?
Sure.
What the heck? Why would you have?
Why do we care anymore?
Well,
nobody cares about grammar.
This is considered a technology holiday. When you ask people, somehow they have Amazon Prime Day as a technology event. Amazon doesn't even sell technology anymore.
I don't know why you're focusing on this.
Okay, here we go.
You butchered the English language like that poor cow that got hit by Skylab.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now, the retailer hosted Prime Day in 2021 in June. The earliest event was essentially a celebration of 20 years. So they just decided to have a Prime Day, which kind of makes sense. Amazon said, you know what? We're celebrating 20 years. Now, it has continued to go on, and even to this moment now, we have countries that have doubled their e-commerce statistics. The Prime Day in 2015, which was celebrated as the 20th anniversary, was first of a kind, and it lasted 24 hours, allowing access to Prime members in 9 countries, which was Amazon's most successful Black Friday ever. Now, in 2021, Prime Day grossed merchandise sales totaling more than $11 billion.
Okay.
I hate this holiday.
Why? I
hate this holiday. What the heck is the world coming to, man?
What?
People on Twitch.tv are streaming, putting Amazon purchases in a cart. People are watching people find something on Amazon and put it in a cart.
Okay.
What have we come to? Why is the internet being used to watch people buy stuff from a conglomerate?
Why is TV being used to look at reality TV, quote unquote?
Prime Day is horrible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Okay?
I think you've made that clear. Which is funny because you were talking about limiting bandwidth.
So I did. So we're talking about as a CTO of a company, should I limit the bandwidth of getting to Amazon.com? That's a question that the ownership asked me, because we don't want employees at the company that we work with going on out and spending their time on Amazon purchasing items.
Yeah, but this is like a thing, right? This is a behavior that people have.
Is it?
And so you're trying to keep them from having that behavior, right?
I am.
What happens when it's not Prime Day and it's something else?
We should talk about that. You know what? Right now, let's move right into our mesmerizing moment. This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
You know, every year this happens. Every year this type of stuff happens, whether it's Prime Day or what's your favorite one that you don't want to?
The NCAA tournament.
NCAA tournament.
Now that's
right?
a great use of internet bandwidth to watch all those games.
That's a great use of company time.
Well,
see,
I maybe have a little double standard.
There's a little bit of a double standard here because, and that's what that's what we're talking about is as a CTO for a company, do you target this particular day because there's going to be a loss of production? Why? When you're not going to do it for these other days.
All right. So I haven't limited it. The internet. I kind of told some people that I was going to just to help them deteriorate the ability for them to think that they can go out there get there.
Now you just ruined it for everybody. Now you're going to get some hate mail.
I'm going to get some hate mail saying I said I was going to do it and I didn't do it, or that.
But this is the interesting part about human behavior. These are natural things that we do. It doesn't matter why we do them. I mean, this is just a sort of a phenomenon that we have generated as part of our regular daily lives. So people look forward to this, and you were talking about how it used to be a really cool idea, but now it's not even a cool idea because you don't even really get that many cool deals.
It used to be a technology where you actually got some great deals, and now you have cold days.
Is that really
Walmart days? Everybody's
really
jumping
your beef,
into this.
Though that's
kind of is
more
my
kind of your beef
is
that you're not getting those cool deals. You're getting discounts on stuff you can walk down to Walmart.
Yeah, diapers, a discount on a blanket. I mean, I get the whole idea that Amazon sells more than technology, but it's I struggle with the whole idea of this fake holiday.
This is the epitome of that.
But yeah, my wife got up early and bought a whole bunch of Kindles. She bought a whole bunch of technology stuff so she can have gifts to give out for Christmas. And then I'm kind of like, I'm not watching any of the deals.
In the Mumm household, I would think this would be a very look forward to day because the amount of electronics you guys have is just astounding.
You think we have some?
Yes, like the pictures you sent me of
some Saturday
you're like, holy crap! There's like 85 consoles
and
there,
and controllers and stuff. Yeah, we probably do have a lot of electronics. You're right.
Maybe
I just don't like the good deals. They're not great deals anymore on electronics. Maybe I'm just you've created these personal feelings around this holiday, and then you're deciding what other people should believe. Okay,
and all you're doing is externalizing your belief system onto somebody else. And we do this all the time when we think about loss of production. Oh, we can't lose production. People really only, when they go to work 8 hours a day, they really only produce about 6 of those hours.
Really?
Yeah. And it's even smaller and smaller.
Really? You should have been there at my Monday day at work. It was crazy.
I bet.
I didn't have any time the day off. All right. We're going to now move into our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
Always good to hear the music.
All right. It is. So it is our pick of the day for our Jack Daniel's single barrel proof 134.4. $69.95 for the bottle. It's the special. You got to look for the special label here, right? So it's important. It's the Jack Daniel's, not just the standard Jack Daniel's, but it's the single barrel proof Tennessee whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Yeah, you can probably look at the bottle and figure that out.
Yeah,
this is a unique bottle.
It's a very unique bottle. What do you give it?
Thumbs up.
You give it a thumbs up? Official thumbs up?
Yep, that's an official
thumbs up. Okay.
And it's not even because I compared it with last week's whiskey, which was horrible.
Okay.
This actually is a really good whiskey.
Was last week's whiskey worse than Canadian's best?
Yeah, in effect, not in taste.
Okay,
it's still,
all right.
It still tasted okay.
So it has a chance to win our worst whiskey of the year award.
Yeah, on the sheer physiological destruction it did. Yes.
All right, Odia, to you.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Nathan is going to give it a thumbs up. thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
That's
It's
what
a thumbs
happens
up.
when I've been drinking
I'm
a little
Cindy
bit
from the Brady Bunch.
earlier of the show. So we gave it a 3 thumbs up. Speaking of made up holidays, you know what's coming on up? The Lace Awards.
I thought we got rid of that.
No, so we have our makeup awards.
No.
All right. Well, first of all, we enjoy you being a part of our show. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.